Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting ready to jump into our second series of the day. Hangzhou Spark getting ready to go up against the Chengdu Hunters. This could be a bit of a fiery matchup. Both teams looking to be on the rise as of late. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm Achilles, now joined by Wolf here on the mic for this second series, and really excited to be here in Dallas.
Same, and I'm really excited for this match. Two Chinese teams clashing here in Texas. Very completely different styles as well, where you've got Chengdu not really playing 3-3, whereas you have Spark trying their best to get good at 3-3, as good as everyone expected them to be.
It's been a bit of a struggle for them as of late, which is reflected in the standings. Chengdu Hunters, however, rising up currently in that 7th place position. The Spark falling a little bit further behind in 11th. That map differential really hurting them at the moment. They need to get some clean victories if they want to be able to climb up into the playoffs.
Yeah, Spark has had a little bit of a tougher road in this stage in terms of strength of schedule, but at the same time, everyone expected them to do much better in general, even when you look at the overall standings, than they have so far. So they are trending upwards, but it's been kind of slow. It has not been as fast as you would have expected.
Yeah, but speaking of going fast, let's go ahead and take a look at the main tanks of green right now for the Chengdu Hunters. Among has been incredible on the Wrecking Ball, playing it more than anybody else and making it work.
Yeah, first in hero damage per 10 minutes at the moment as well. And he's matching up against Gushui today in, what will probably not be the mirror matchup here. So they're going to have to continue to play around this Wrecking Ball. They're going to have to continue to find success on this Wrecking Ball against one of the better Winstons in the league.
Well, here we go. It's time to go ahead and bring out our teams. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the Hangzhou Spark.
I think you better bow down.
Hangzhou Spark, 2-2 so far this stage. A win here would put them ahead, give them a positive ranking. And this is a team everyone expected to do so well at the beginning of the season. When you look at this lineup, you have the star Gushui, who played for Team China in the World Cup. You've got Korean players from 7 and X6, champions of Contenders Korea. And I mean, this is a squad people did not expect to be 2-2 in stage 2, did not expect them to have a weak record overall. They will be starting Crystal in this series though, and they're starting 6 along with Gushui.
Well, it has been a bit of a rough start for them. It's an uphill battle. Let's see if they can find victory here today as we bring out their opponents. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chengdu Hunters.
The Hunters, one of the more popular teams right now amongst those who love to see different styles of play. They don't want to see the 3-3 each and every match, and the Hunters do not play that style. They're playing around Among strengths on the Wrecking Ball. And here's our starting 6. We are going to have Evil Tall in here as well, Jinmu, everything you'd expect to see from the Chengdu roster. This is their go-to 6. It's a very powerful team, and I'm excited to see how their styles will clash against the Spark today.
Yeah, also going to have Bacon Jack waiting in the back room, you would expect. Casey needs to be subbed in. We've seen him start for them a couple times, then Jinmu coming a bit later, but this will be the starting 6, so feeling confident in this as we get ready to move into our first map, which we'll be figuring out what that is in just a moment. But go ahead and talk a little bit more about Gushui, because we've really been highlighting this main tank matchup.
So he's going to be, one of the things that Gushui is known for is his Winston play, right? He was the star player from China, and his stats really do stack up amongst some of the best in the league here. First in terms of damage block per time, but when you look at the rest of the stats here, he's top in hero damage. You can see 5th in fewest deaths. These are the stats that you really got to look at when you look at a top tier tank. And the crazy thing about this is he's a Chinese player that's usually playing with 5 Koreans as well. So the communication that's required to make good Winston plays is difficult to do when you're on a mixed language roster like this. He will be playing with his Chinese teammate Crystal today in the starting 6 though. So at least he's got that going for him. But the thing that's so cool about this though, when we look at his Winston stats, is that's compared to other Winstons in the league. He will very likely not be matching up against a Winston player directly on the front lines. It's going to be the Wrecking Ball. That may force him in certain maps to actually flex over to the Wrecking Ball himself.
Well, time will tell, but first let's go ahead and see what our map set is presented by Toyota. Kicking things off, it's going to be Busan. So we already have the Hunters in. We know how much they love DPS, but now we're also going to have one of the best DPS maps in the game to kick things off. So ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Dallas, are you ready for some more Overwatch action? Let's jump in for downtown.
Here we go. And as expected, this is one of the better maps for the Wrecking Ball compositions. A lot of teams around the league are running that Wrecking Ball. For the Hunters, no exception, no surprises. Spark is going to put Gushui on the Reinhardt, however, expecting to see some variation of the Wrecking Ball. The Wrecking Ball a lot more mobile, but if you can get control of the point first, Gushui will have that advantage.
Right now, just taking a couple shots in the back line, looking for a pick. Not gonna come up with too much. Push forward, coming in from the Spark really aggressively. Not able to find any kills so far, but have an inside track over onto the point. Yo, pushing back forward here. That's gonna be late Young find the first 2 kills as Crystal and Baby both can take it down. Now Godsby able to trade 1 back. Rhea's gonna find Kyo. It's gonna be a 2 for 2 on either side. The point is unlocked, but no one really making their way over yet. Gushui pushing forward with the help of Rhea, helps take Elsa down. But Among is here with Late Young. They're keeping that first cap rolling through. Contest comes in from the Spark. Not letting this one go over without a fight. Do not want to give them any free percentage, and Godsby is going to be able to take down the enemy Zarya. A crucial pickup here as he nearly has that Graviton Surge online.
They kept Gushui alive. He builds a shatter here, and he's going to have that to control this choke. But the Spark were able to regroup better. They lost the initial fight overall, but the Chengdu Hunters got split up, and Rhea was able to chase them down and get those, follow-up picks there. So Chengdu never actually captured the point. They're going to stick to it now, but against this fortified Reinhardt with the shatter, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, they're trying to get it back out there for the moment, but now the grab comes in, catches them. Transcendence has to be used by Kyo. Does manage to keep them alive. Among still going to be rolling around, goes into the pile driver, trying to weaken Crystal, and gets a pickoff on Rhea's mech with a minefield. Now, the resurgence of the Chengdu Hunters. They push back against the Spark, they take down the crucial members, and that flip should be coming through.
It's the Wrecking Ball that gives them the ability to approach at a different angle than the Spark expected. The grab locked them in so that Gushui could not utilize the shatter that we were describing just moments before. Godsby's follow-up grab is countered by the Transcendence. The Chengdu Hunters come in with the proper responses to what they think that the Spark are going to be defending with. Now, they have an ult deficit though, so defending this will not be easy, especially because Wrecking Ball doesn't get an advantage when he's on the point. His mobility is his strength. Let's see if he can break this comp as it comes through.
Yeah, Bebe getting chunked out, has to use the Bionade on himself to get topped back up. Rally's gonna be out from Crystal, the bomb coming through from Elsa, looking for a pick, but he's not gonna be able to find anything. That was the one ult they had online. Now the sound barrier gonna be available for Yellow's. Might have to use that one instantly, and he will with the shatter. Comes down from Gushui, pin over onto Jinmu, shreds through that shield, but they still haven't been able to find the kills yet. Bomb is in from Rhea, up onto the high ground, not gonna find a pick, and Elsa denies the remake. Pile driver from Among is absolutely massive, catching multiple members on the side of the Hangzhou Spark, and despite that ult advantage that the Spark had, the Chengdu Hunters are winning out the fight.
It's the disruption that the Wrecking Ball causes there, breaks the formation of the Spark. They had ult advantage, they hit the shatter, but the sound barrier was good for Yveltal. It kept them alive, allowed Among to get back in there, hit that pile driver, which knocks everyone into a position where they're not able to use that synergy that they were trying to set up in the fight when the shatter comes through. So very well played by the supports, and then a good fault there but from Among. And now the Spark, they don't have tools to retake this.
Yeah, another pile driver coming in, just trying to cause as much chaos as humanly possible. That lineup, that's going to be the pin coming in with the Graviton Surge. They do manage to find Among, but they can't take him down. He's up onto the high ground. It's hard to get the damage in, and they cannot finish him off. Rally's going to be out from Crystal now. So Spark desperately trying to make their way over onto the point with the Graviton Surge. Catches them here on the side of the building, and Crystal will get taken down. Gushui stunned up, melted. The Chengdu Hunters maintaining control, looking like they're going to be able to get this first round.
Looks like it. Just no way to crack this open right now for the Spark. They needed Bebe to build that Transcendence to go back onto the point. I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to tag here with IDK.
Seeing that they were ready for it, they're moving back over to the point to make sure there were going to be no shenanigans. IDK going to be dead in the air. Chengdu Hunters, they tick up to 100. They take the first round of Busan.
The thing about the Spark is that this is a team that is trying to emulate the top teams in 3-3. It feels in a lot of ways they're trying to, emulate these grabs into self-destructs. They're trying to emulate how they set up shatters, where they stand, where they position. And in a mostly mirror matchup league where you see 3-3 versus 3-3 from most teams, that is the way you want to play. That is your focus. But everything changes when you face the Hunters. When they run 3-3, it's still 3-3, but it's with a Wrecking Ball, not a Reinhardt, and not a Winston, and that changes how you play completely. And Among was able to consistently disrupt the formations that the Hangzhou Spark practiced and trained so hard to have to control those chokes on Busan. And once again, it's the same situation here. Among on the Wrecking Ball versus Gushui's Reinhardt. We'll see if this time they can stay in formation, if they will not get broken up by this ball.
Among waiting for his opportunity, rolls his way into the back, pile driver. Comes down, instantly gets the stun, but he gets the adaptive shield. So managing to stay safe at the moment. Also has that forward of harmony from Keo, helping to keep him topped up. But Young, however, crumbling under the pressure as Gushwei pushed forward, but that's going to be an overstep, it seems. Gushwei and Rhea both going to be taken down. The baby is trying to push back. Sun comes in, Amon continues to go lower and lower, but he always is playing around the timing of this adaptive shield, knowing that he can survive.
He only goes in when he's got it. Once again, he's getting those shields from Brigitte as well.
Cap's not found for either side. Looking to get a kill here on the Bebe, nearly takes him down. The armor pack coming in crucially there from Crystal, helps keep that Zenyatta alive. Chengdu Hunters in the meantime have managed to get the first cap coming in. Pile drive just up over the top, drops down the minefield. Will be used, but not gonna find any kills yet, but he's trying to push them in. Chunking them out, now has a nice backline shot there. Onto Rhea's mech, but has not been able to break it yet. Time and time again, just
this is a one fight
through. And they're going to be looking to maintain control, but actually the flip does manage to come in. But as that happens, Kyo manages to pick on the Bebe. Transcendence is going to be used by Kyo. And the rest of the team topped up as they try to get the flip coming back through. Sound barrier going to be used by the Spark as they try to hold out here and wait for the rejoin of Bebe, and the kills are coming in.
Too many resources spent to try to kill Godspeed, and he lived through all of it. The sound barrier from IDK is what keeps him alive. He gets to keep his grab. They did this without using ultimates outside of that sound barrier. They get the flip while all the attention is on Godspeed, and he lives. So many resources spent. They get nothing for it, nothing at all. Now they've got the response nearly with the Transcendence almost ready. Late Young's got a tiny window here for the grab, and it is so tiny he's going to have to make this work with this push right now.
Yeah, and if they can't do that, Trent's is going to be ready for Bebe, you would expect. Grab coming through, managed to catch them, and there's not going to be any support ultimates to speak of. For the side of the Chengdu Hunters, just going to have to reset and come back.
This is huge. This is a massive swing of momentum because that was the one window they had. Hangzhou Spark were able to identify that. They know they don't have the trance. They're going to force the grab fight off the point. They even get the kill on the Late Young with the follow-up stun there before he can use the grab. Now when they reapproach, Baby's got the Transcendence available, so they are not going to be able to win that fight with the grab alone. It's going to take more than that. It's going to take a minefield. It's going to take some more of Among's disruption. He's trying to flank on the right side right now. Here he comes.
His way through, pile driver not really going to find a connection. Gushwei just playing up into the front, looking for that mummy shatter. Late Young, oh no, he's going to lose out on the grab. Rhea takes that one away with the defense matrix. Halo going to be taken down as well, and this is just a disaster for the Chengdu Hunters at the moment. The Spark showing utter dominance in this second round.
Yep, you see the shatter come through just for the guaranteed double kill there to delay the respawns of the Hunters. And because they lost that grab, they're going to have to initiate this fight with support ultimates and the minefield. And Hangzhou Spark are ready for this. They know exactly the only way Hunters can approach here. See how far back they're playing.
Gonna have the tag in. Amon is ready. Minefield's gonna be coming through. Pomsy adaptive shield staying alive for the moment. Rally's gonna be out from Crystal. Do Hunters have to stay on the point to try to get this flip? They have to win the fight if they want to take this with a 2-0. Otherwise, we're gonna be looking at a tied up scoreline. We'll be heading to Meka base. That's going to be Bomb coming in, grab thrown in, Bomb going way past it, but still manages to find two. Ibelto and Late Young both going to be taken down by Rhea. Elsa desperately going to be dumping the bomb of his own, but it's not going to find any kills. He'll make it back into the back, but not for very long. They will be able to pop him out. That OT bar starting to plummet. There's a couple more seconds, and there it is. We are going to a third and final round of Busan. To see who will start this off with a victory.
Indeed, and this time they were not able to use the Wrecking Bolt in the same way. This time they were not able to get ult advantages from constantly disrupting the Spark's defensive setups. Instead, the Spark got an ult advantage. They used that to prevent the approaches that we saw from the Hunters. The grab was eaten. The grab before that they wanted to take when there was no Transcendence was prevented by a more aggressive, more initiative Graviton Surge coming out from Godspeed. They get the kill on the Late Young. It was very clear, everyone's on the same page. Their win condition in this fight is, Late Young's grab. Let's kill him first. And you could see the focus was there. You could see that the Spark knew exactly how to maintain that ult advantage. It's anyone's game here, though, on Meka Base. Another one of the better maps for Wrecking Ball with all the chokes.
The third and final round rolling through. Among not skipping a beat, instantly goes into the back line, but he's getting bounced around. Like a pinball, does manage to escape with his life intact. Pushing in for that flank off onto the left-hand side. Rejoins in with the rest of his squad now. Everyone just crawls so far away from the point. Spark looking to rein it back in a little bit, it would seem. They find Amon by himself in the back, and his core orb comes through, and Rhea be able to get that kill. Now the point going to be unlocked. Spark will drop down and likely get this first cap.
there are limits to what a Wrecking Ball can do, and the Wrecking Ball's survivability often depends on whether he is hacked by a Sombra or caught by a Brigida, because that's going to be the thing that limits his mobility. And when you don't have shields either, once you get caught in those moments, you are eventually going to die. He was too far away from his squad. Now the Hangzhou Spark have ult advantage and positional advantage. Very difficult to use the Wrecking Ball as the attacking team through these chokes.
See that damage just getting locked in. Kyo nearly getting taken down. We'll have the trance online for Godspeed's grab. You would expect it. See invested right now, but Kyo's just gonna be killed. Now the grab comes through. They will lock them up and take them down. Chengdu Hunters did not stand a chance, and Elsa, oh boy, the body block can't do anything as he just tries desperately to die.
So Among has swapped over to the Ryan because he knows that when the point is controlled by the Spark, the attacking team can't come through with the Wrecking Ball. There's no way to swing when you're going through a tiny doorway like this, right? So he has to play the Ryan. Now he's facing off against Guxui's Ryan, arguably a much better Reinhardt, and IDK is looking to split him off as soon as he comes through.
Well, they push their way out. IDK not really able to get into that flank position, trying to get the boot right now, just trying to peel pressure back away from Guxui as they continue to advance toward him. Shatter online, Baby still going to be holding on to the Transcendence as Li Young tries to get the grab ready. Point still controlled by Spark, 65%. The Chengdu Hunters, they're going to pull the trigger at some point.
Yeah, they're just backing off. They're just trying to get 99 here. The Spark without using ultimates if possible.
Doubles coming in. Guxui still just waiting for the moment. Shields both getting beaten and battered, going lower and lower. Grab's going to be coming out. Snatches them over onto the side. Ria looking to trade it back with the bomb. Elsa just going to be taken down, goes off the side of the map perhaps. Not quite sure what happened in that situation, but now the Spark are still looking to maintain control because Guxui picks up too. A pin on the Among and then the fire strike to Li Young's face. They still have it.
They use the ultimates later in the fight so that when they win the fight, there's not enough time for a recontest. They use the ultimates defensively so when the Hunters come back, they have no time and they have no ultimates. Perfectly done here for the Spark.
Grab over onto the wall, just trying to catch them as they come out, keep them off the point. They barely manage to tag in, but it's not going to lead to much. That's going to be the cleanup coming through as the OT ticks down, and the Hangzhou Spark will be able to start things off with a victory.
Very good understanding of how to maintain their ult advantage here, Achilleos. Very well played here. In the face of Among's Wrecking Ball, which was so fierce, they're still able to maintain that composure.
Well, they have the lead. Let's see if the Chengdu Hunters can tie it up when we come back from the break.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. Eichenwalde is an especially fun map for Sombra, and Ding from the Shanghai Dragons shows you why. Translocating from the rooftops, Ding falls into the whole Florida Mayhem team, lets an EMP rip, and allows Gamsu to earth-shatter them down.
That's a huge one. Whoa, it's a big EMP into a huge earth shatter from Gamsu, actually. The timing on that was impeccable.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Map 1 out of the way. Hangzhou Spark able to come up with a victory 2-1 on Busan. So nice little lead at the beginning here, but we know that the Chengdu Hunters aren't going to go down without a fight. We know that they are still going to be as scrappy as humanly possible to try to shake up the spark.
Certainly true. I feel like that last map was a lot closer than, you know, it seemed there at the end with a very one-sided match on, or rather round on Meka base. And it's cool to see these styles collide and clash, but, you know, we thought maybe we'd see Gushue forced onto the Wrecking Ball to have to deal with the style that we're seeing from Amok, but it was in fact the opposite, especially when into Meka base where you can't really attack in as the Wrecking Ball, so he was pushed away from his comfort zone, forced onto the Reinhardt, still couldn't make it work. They didn't have ult advantage, and I think that's the big key thing that we're watching right now in terms of what is the big defining divide between these two squads is that the Spark are managing their ultimates better, they're holding them longer, they're using them more conservatively, and that's their play style, right? They try to play that passive style that they're emulating from New York, whereas Chengdu's the more aggressive team. They want to use their ults to attack.
Well, we do have a couple substitutions coming through. Adora going to be stepping in for Crystal on the side of the Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah, and on the side of the Chengdu Hunters, we will have Bacon Jack coming in for Late Young. The Crystal, sub there that we saw, or rather, Crystal starting over Adora, is probably related to the fact that they weren't sure exactly what the Hunters were going to run, and sometimes, DPS comps and sniper comps force you to run dive and run different things, and we know Crystal is great at dive, and he works well with Gushue in those situations. So I think, even though we saw Crystal end up on Brigitte only, the idea was, what if we don't run Brigitte? Then what? Crystal's the better guy for the job. Now that we're moving into the Temple of Anubis map here, it may just simply be that they're not expecting to have to run those heroes, so they want to go back to standard with Adora.
Well, you never really know, because we've seen a lot. I mean, even just from our first series on Temple of Anubis, seeing a lot of Widowmaker coming through from Soon especially, really making that pick work. So maybe we'll still have a bit of that DPS coming through as we get ready to move into map 2.
IDK had an incredible performance on the Lucio as well, keeping Godsby alive with sound barriers. In terms of environmental kills this season, which is what IDK is most known for, he is breaking into the top 5 amongst Moth, Slime, Masa, and Big Goose. Slime, of course, famous for this in Korea, but Big Goose is still top dog right now this season at 35. But IDK is making his way up there very quickly.
Yeah, climbing the standings. I would like to see where Toby is, perhaps. Hasn't seen the most play this season, but he is the boop god after all, so
Sure.
Who knows where his numbers rest. I think as the season continues, we'll see him rise up maybe and overtake some of these people in the top 5, but IDK has been really instrumental for this roster. He has been one of the shining stars, I suppose, when things still look very rough for the Hangzhou squad.
I mean, he comes from, he was on Lunatic High for a while, and Lucky Future Zenith is past, and everyone who was on that squad split up into Overwatch League teams, and they are all god tier players. It's just crazy to see that they're maintaining that level of performance on different squads. We are heading to Temple of Anubis, as mentioned. Not a map that you really get environmental kills on, so not going to be too relevant here, but
yeah,
his sound barriers are what has really been standing out for him in this series and keeping players like Godsby alive.
Yeah, all about that timing, but here we go. Map 2. We'll see if the Chengdu Hunters can tie this series up, or if the Hangzhou Spark will be advancing to a 2-0 start and already be at match point. Like we said, their differential right now, -6. As clean as they can make this series in a victory, it will help them instrumentally to make their way up into the playoffs.
That's absolutely true. Those are the things that you don't think about when you're looking at an individual match, but when you're looking at the broader picture of a stage, it is those map wins that put you above the teams that are in similar standing. The strengths of schedules are different. It matters a lot. On the attack here, we will see actually what looks like potentially after this scout, a Adora Genji.
Well, we have Bacon Jack on the Widowmaker. Godsby, does he want to stay with this to try to overtake him?
This is the proper response with the Genji. The Widow is seen often in Korea, but not really outside of Korea, versus these sorts of bunker slash treehouse comps. We have the Orisa, Junkrat, and Widow on the defense on Anubis. This is an Anubis-specific strategy with the Orisa. It's very difficult. It's very difficult for the attacking Widow to find line of sight, but often you can distract enough to give the Genji opportunity to build Dragon Blade and get in there and threaten the back line. Adora, very known for this in his past on the Foxes, which is the team he's from originally in Korea, when he was pocketed by a Mercy on Genji, which he has IDK now for.
Well, Dive's going to be coming through there for a moment. Gushue going to be chunked down. About half HP, as is Rhea with a mech, so have to play this one a little bit more patiently, but Bacon Jack And the first kill taking down Godsby.
So we're going back in time a little bit right now because this was a strategy that was popular last year, and the response is what we're seeing from the Spark as they are caught off here. But they're using the exact same strategy with the Genji that we saw from Spark, we saw from the Foxes, where you pocket the Genji, get him a Dragon Blade as fast as possible, you come in and you try to beat the Junkrat to Riptire. If you can kill the Junkrat, break this before Riptire's ready, that's your best shot. And Adora is so close to that.
Bacon Jet under a lot of pressure here. Adora coming in from behind. They're trying to pocket him. Blade's going to be pulled out. Rio's going to be knocking in the back. Adora, though, slicing and dicing. Manages to find one. Looking for another target. Sees that Junkrat unable to close the distance. So Rez going to be coming through. Bacon Jack is put back into the fight, but is that going to be enough to turn it? It might not be, because Gushue, he's going primal, and he's got himself a double kill. Now Bacon Jack and Kyo both going to get taken down. Adora, he scoops himself a double in the end. And that will be point A going the way the Hangzhou Spark. 6 minutes coming their way in the time bank.
The Genji is the counter to everything the Hunters are doing, but the one thing they had was the Riptire to shut down this push. The Riptire is the answer, and Jinmu dies with it just as he's getting it, and they barely made it through. That tiny window was open for them to get in, get that blade off, get those kills before the Riptire can shut it down. So they just barely made this work, but this is very common when you are up against Junkrat Orisa defenses, and Adora made it work again.
Well, the hack comes through on Adora. He can't climb the wall anymore. He'll get taken down. They have the res available, though. IDK puts him back in the fight, but now a Riptire coming down straight off the top. We'll find a pick on the Godspeed. So further delays coming through at the moment. Spark unable to advance onto B.
I think we will see hero swaps coming through shortly here as soon as the dust settles on this fight. As, you know, it's tough to run the Genji into what the Chengdu Hunters are now running, especially with the Sombra here. But, you know, he's 60% of a blade, and there is a Valkyrie coming up, and they have a time bank to work with. So despite the fact that the Hunters swap off, Spark is still considering running this. But as soon as they see the swap, there's no reason to put themselves at risk of being behind in ultimates. So say they push this and it fails, Bacon Jack gets a grab, and you're going to be behind in ultimates for the rest of the map. So you can't make that decision, even though you're so close to the Dragon Blade and it feels like, oh, this is so good. It doesn't make sense because it's just too greedy, it's just too risky.
Oh, pushing back forward with the recent swaps. Looking like maybe a left side approach trying to go through the catacombs. Shield raised by Gushue trying to protect them. Among gets a very nice fire strike, though. Gonna be a little bit ahead. Bomb gonna be just thrown into the side room here. Unable to find any picks. The shield raised from Gushue. Everyone dives in behind that. Now Among's gonna get picked right in the front. That is critical here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark as they advance off the point. Bacon Jack as well killing himself off with the right clicks. Now they have the point, and they didn't really have to do anything. Chengdu Hunters, they try to kick it off with ultimates of their own, but it just blows them in the face.
Very, you know, very unusual to see no ultimates and to see a take like this. They already have the first take. There's a little bit of stabilization here, though, from the Hunters.
Now they're trying. The first tick does get surrendered. Shatter going to be coming through. Among now dropping one of his own. Finds Godspeed as the grab becomes available, so the Chengdu Hunters will be able to stabilize. But they just throw some ults out willy-nilly and give up a tick for free.
Yeah, I don't think the plan was originally to hope that Amon was going to get the shatter in this ensuing fight and defend, but he does come up clutch there. Now they can delay Rhea. But Amon hit that shatter there at the last second. If that doesn't happen, we're living in a world where Godspeed's got Grav, maybe it's got a trance, and maybe things turn out a little bit differently. But during this fight, Bacon Jack builds most of his Graviton Surge as well. So this is not a terrible position anymore for the Hunters, but it was very dangerous there for a little while.
Certainly looking rough, but coming back, ready to try this one again. Only built up 33.7%. So not the worst for the Chengdu Hunters as far as the defense is concerned. Grab's going to be coming through. Got the punch right up in the front. That's going to be Bacon Jack taken down. The sound barrier from Yamato just not able to catch him. And now they have to try to maintain control here. So many ultimates available at the moment for the Hangzhou Spark. Rally rolling at the moment from Adora. Now going to be expiring with the soul holding onto a shatter, a bomb, and a transcendence. And Amon is going to be dead in the front lines. Transcendence going to be forced out here by Kyo. Under pressure, nearly taken down. The shatter's going to be good from Gushue. Jinmu killed off with the pin. Elsa knocked out. Has the bomb to try to get the remake. Shield up from Gushue, however, blocks out that self-destruct, so no kills to be found from it. And now they're entrenched on the point. Chengdu Hunters, they have to do something right now to try to break this offensive line that we're seeing from the Hangzhou Spark. But it seems like it's just going to be one after the other. The members dying. Godspeed has another grab online already. And that'll just be it. They just take it.
You have to accept the risks you take. They stayed out in the front. They stayed far forward. They lost Bacon Jack for it. And that's it. That costs you the map. Potentially, if you can't get B on your attack run.
Rough stuff. Let's see what happens on the Chengdu Hunters attack when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 2:19, the time established by the Hangzhou Spark on their attack. Started things off with around 6 minutes, so the defense from the Chengdu Hunters overall pretty successful, but now they themselves have to get the double cap here.
Yeah, and you know, it's certainly something that if you are successful on your A push on one of the first 3 attacks, and if you could potentially even set up a double cap, you absolutely can best this time bank. This is not a great time bank by any means, so all hope is not lost for the Hunters here at all.
Yeah, certainly not. So we'll see what they can get done. Match of the week, of course, though, tomorrow, guys. I think you have some stakes in this match. For those of you watching here live, Outlaws versus the Fuel at the end of the day. Are you guys ready for that one?
It's gonna be big.
That's what I thought. Hopefully you guys are a little bit louder for it tomorrow, but it's fine. We're still just getting warmed up. It's only the second series. But here we go. Chengdu Hunters on the attack. Among, of course, going to be on the wrecking ball.
So now we're going to swap the sides here. Same compositions. Adora's Junkrat, you know, because that's the role right back in that meta. Junkrat Genji, that was the projectile DPS's main bread and butter, and that was Adora's role on the Foxes. But we see Jinmu on the Genji, which is so exciting to see. He's one of the better ones in this league, and one of the more game time we've seen, you know, in terms of comparing all Genji players across the league. He's played more than most. So let's see if he can break this faster. They're not running a Mercy, though. They're running this with Sombra.
Yeah, Pile Driver's still going to find the hit. This Orb comes through, so Among's got to get the heck out of there. Hack in on a Godspeed. Oh, but he doesn't care.
It's the left click.
Finds the shot there on Keo. Taking him down. Among like, oh wait, no, I kind of messed that up. Let me try it again.
They got to reset.
Rolls out.
This is rough for the Hunters. They need to get back and regroup. And look at the difference between what we saw with Adora and Jinmu. He's only a quarter of a blade. He doesn't have a Mercy to pocket him. It's difficult to actually extend out there and get those, you know, shurikens to get the damage required.
Speaking of him.
Yeah, to make a blade, when you're cut off like this, you don't have a Mercy to protect you because they're running Ana.
And Yellowpulse is going to be taking down Gushue. There for the alley-oop. Manages to find the kill. Trap's just going to be thrown down. They clean up Elsa.
There's some places that an Ana cannot heal a Genji. Ana's got close range, or sorry, excuse me, long range. And when you have a wide open space, she can heal the Genji from anywhere, almost as much as a Mercy can. But you need a Mercy on this map to keep the Genji pocketed. They're playing more around the EMP, but it's a lot riskier. It's a lot less, you know, guaranteed for a push the way they're doing this. And a Riptire is already ready, so he could save that for the blade.
Pretty good. Pushed out. Oh,
he's
isolated. Jinmu manages to find the kill. Now he's putting pressure here on the Godspeed. He does escape, wraps around the backhand side, trying to throw down that poison trap. The res will come in. Adora going to be safe, but now they need to keep Godspeed alive. The pocket's going to be there. And Jinmu below half HP. Pushes back in, though.
And the Nano Blade, it's ready.
It's going to be Godspeed taken down. Gushue killed just a moment before. Riptire will be able to find Yellowpulse, but now Adora gonna be taken down. Good punish coming through from the Chengdu Hunters.
Will they
and
save
look
this?
at the ults that they might have for this point B snowball, Wolf.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I think they should save this as long as they can continue to get these kills, which they certainly are.
Yeah.
This is a Nano Blade push with EMP, 6 ultimates in the pipeline. We talked about how it was possible, and in fact, likely, the Hunters could, if they take this point early, beat the time bank of Hangzhou Spark. They're 3 minutes ahead right now, and with these tools, there's no question in my mind they could do it. Godsby even considers swapping over for a moment to the McCree to try to stun the Genji. They need to...
Gushwei got attacked out. Take him down very low. Then the Mega Panic helping to save his life.
Adora used Shield Bash. This is an opportunity. Got to think about that. No stun.
Looking for it here. That's going to be the Nano Blade thrown down. Bacon Jack taking very low. The EMP only catching 2. And the Transcendence is out from Bebe. IDK going to be taken down, but that's the only casualty
It's a weak
on the
point.
back of his Nano Blade.
It's a
And now
whip.
Gushwei pushes forward. He finds the kill onto the Genji. This is going to be Hangzhou Spark stabilizing in the defense as Godsby is just skirting around the back lines on this Tracer, taking names left and right. Look at him. He's almost got a pulse bomb.
The opportunity was, I mean, you don't get a better chance than that to get a double cap. There was no Shield Bash. It was used, but the Blade, it's weak. We hail Jinmu as one of the best Genjis in this league right now, but he doesn't find the kills when he needs to under the pressure with the Nano Boost, with the EMP. He's still unable to do it. Tracer gets the first pick with the swap coming through from the Spark, and now we're starting over. We're resetting at 0 for the Hunters in terms of ults.
Yeah, Elsa using the self-destruct, looking for a pickoff. Actually manages to find Bebe. That's a crucial one here. Now the sound barrier going to be used from Yableton as they push their way forward onto the point. Gushwei going to be matching that pin. Both Ryans hit the ground, but Gushwei going to be taken down. Jinmu swinging away, manages to find the pick. Bomb out from Rhea, buys some space over onto the point, but now he has to try to make it back in, stabilize here with the rest of his squad. 4 minutes remaining. He's underneath the bridge. He's going to get popped out again.
No support ults for the Spark either to stabilize with. Trade back Among.
Energy here for Bacon Jack. Just trying to build up that grab, 35% away. Godsby gets his first though. Slams that one down. Kyo has the Transcendence out, but 2 kills still going the way of the Hangzhou Spark as they hold out hope and they don't even surrender a tick.
And the scary thing is too, they did this without support ults. And it was Adora who was able to get that kill onto Among that really started to allow them to get those respawns off and come out with the spawn advantage. For the Hunters now, with no Transcendence, this can't be the push to grab. And they don't even have it, but right, they can't even force the grab to come out with a swirl. And what that means is it's going to take several more attempts. So already, even though right now it says 3:15 on the clock, we're looking at a worse time bank extremely likely here for the Hunters. With that huge push they almost had.
Yeah. Need to nail these ultimates. See if they can do it. Gushwei waiting around the corner. Shatter's going to be online. He's waiting. Sees the boot. Amon going to be taken down. The Shatter comes in. Everybody on the bridge is just dead. Devastates the line of the Chengdu Hunters and takes Elsa's mech for a ride.
And I want to remind everyone, the point of this push was never to take B. It was to build ultimates. They did that, build those ultimates. But you know, that's a push lost here. The Spark only really used the Shatter there. So they're still catching up at ultimates, the Hunters are, but they're losing valuable time, and that's why we were saying previously that the time bank is going to be better for the Spark, guaranteed now.
Gonna be looking basically at a 5v5 as far as ults are concerned on either side. Time bank now dipping below that of the Hangzhou Spark. Chengdu Hunters, they have to get across this finish line. Shatter comes in, manages to find a few, but they can't push forward to get the kills because the grab comes in. Move a little bit too late. That's self-destruct from Rhea, not gonna be able to find anything. Answering Shatter, gonna be coming down. Doesn't lock up too many. The pin from Amon manages to find Adora. Also with the bomb, makes it back into the back. Bacon Jack charging forward, trying to get that energy up. Gushwei going lower and lower, drops into the low ground, will be taken down. Jinmu able to hound him for that kill, and now Chengdu Hunters have found their way over onto the point. Just need to get these ticks rolling in. One gonna be snagged.
They should block Godsby off so he can't touch. He's trying to tag this to delay.
Hasn't been able to make his way back in yet. It's gonna be Rhea doing the most of the contention here on the point. IDK makes his way through, up onto the high ground. He tries to stay alive. Adora with the desperate flip over onto the Batiste, trying to keep people alive with that immortality field. It's not being focused down.
Godsby's grab.
Down on the back.
It's ready.
It's about to be up. Godsby just 2 more %. The Shatter gonna be dropped in. Bebe taken down. Godsby manages to find Kyo, however. The grab gonna be thrown in, but it goes wide. Godsby, he completely whips it. Needed that one to try to turn things around, but maybe then he might still be able to make it happen because he comes up with 2 kills. Gushwei gonna be taken down. Godsby kills himself off. Adora doing everything that he can with these right clicks. He's trying to spam these nades in to keep his team sustained. Self-destruct comes in from Rhea, not gonna find anything, but he makes it back into the back. They're still extending this one. There's a minute remaining for the Chengdu Hunters.
Yeah, they're just buying so much time right now here at Killio. Sub 1 minute. and they may stabilize. Here comes the trance.
Bacon Jack now going to have that grab online. The trans already going to be used. Shatter coming in from Gushway, not going to be able to find anything. Grab is going to be thrown down right here in front of the bridge. Manages to find 2 and IDK. He just gets melted down by the rockets out from Elsa. Gushway going to be joining him in the grave. Godspeed stunned up instantly, pushed into the rest of the team, and he cannot survive. The Chengdu Hunters, they will be able to finish this, it would seem. Just a little bit of time left in that bank as they clean up Rhea. 30 seconds, they get the tag in yet again from IDK, but he can't get the barrier to buy more. 26 seconds, I believe, at the finish. Chengdu Hunters, they barely make it over the finish line.
The Hunters sigh a breath of relief, but we're always going to wonder what the time bank could have been had that push with the EMP blade worked out.
We'll never know, but let's see what happens when we come back for overtime. And welcome back. Things looking good at the moment for the Hangzhou Spark as they look to kick off this series with a 2-0 start and already be at match point. Chengdu Hunters able to get the finish here on Temple of Anubis, but now they only have a minute in the time bank.
Things have really gone worst case scenario for the Hunters after what was such a great start. The kill there onto Adora, the 6 ults they walked in with, but at the end of the day, it's 1 minute and 1 chance to build a Dragon Blade with this composition. And I think that more realistically than getting Dragon Blade, they're going to have to hope that we get the same situation we had previously as Jinmu gets a critical kill, and then they're able to get dash resets and just wipe with that in that moment. Because the Blade, in 45 seconds when he's got 3% right now, it's not realistic to expect that one's going to work.
Yep. And that's going to be a kill coming in instantly for Adora. Both supports on the side of Chengdu going to be taken down. So now just have to wait for those respawns, and they realistically have 1 more push.
Yeah, this
to
is
try to get anything on A.
This is the one shot, the one chance they have. You know, Hangzhou has, if they want to run the same thing, they have an opportunity to build a blade with 3 minutes.
Jinmu into the back, already tagged up.
And already used his dash, so he can't do anything right now. He's going to rely on Among to break up the formation before he comes back in. He's been healed now. Among's going to have to get an angle. Here he comes, up on the high ground.
Knows that Genji's going to be coming for him, and that's going to be Among taken down up onto the high ground. Those Discord orbs, you really have to respect them. Mei just able to find that kill. Elsa pushing over onto the point, trying to force out that OT. But the kills are just coming in for the Hangzhou Spark, left, right, and center here. As far as the kill feed is concerned, OT going to be taken down, and this push just does not result in anything other than a failure. They still can force out a draw by getting the hold here on A.
Yes.
But that's as good as it gets for the Hunters.
It's as good as it gets. And we can't fault them for their performance here because this was a goal. Even to get 1 tick was an unrealistic goal in this meta. Especially when running the Genji, all you can hope for is that 1 single kill. And he died first to a concussive mine because obviously, guess what? Spark knows that's their 1 chance. They're hounding the Genji. That's the 1 way they could lose control. Suddenly you have the same 6 ults going into B. And, we have a 4 take. They did get the double-double, right? They get 4 points. Like, that could have happened. So they just made sure to lock down Jinmu. Jinmu will now, of course, go to the Junkrat. And we're going to have that same race to Dragon Blade versus the Riptire if the Spark want to run the Mercy, right? Because there's different ways to approach this. But I think they have the time to do the Mercy strategy where, again, most of the Mercy's energy goes into the Genji. It's not for damage boosting on the Widow. You build a Dragon Blade very quickly and you can play risky and just constantly throw shurikens. There's IDK swapping to the Mercy, so it looks like we will have this again after he tosses out a Sonic Arrow.
Yep, Gushway over onto the Winston, as expected. So just going to be having that scouting party. Yep, the arrow coming through. Bacon Jack set up onto the high ground here, behind Among's barrier.
So they have 3 minutes essentially, or 2.5, let's say, to build this blade. Watch the ult percentages for Adora versus Jinmu, because that's going to be oftentimes what decides whether you get that single tick with the blade, because the Riptire can instantly kill the Genji once he pulls the Dragon Blade out, and it's very difficult for the Genji to avoid that as he's diving through.
Bubble going to be thrown down by Gushue, just helping escort his team through.
Notice IDK is pocketing here.
Yeah, making sure no shots coming in. Dora wrapping his way around the backhand side. Just trying to identify where everybody from the Chengdu Hunters is.
So way he can just get massive value if he can sneak in and get an angle.
Taking Jack, taking a couple shots. It's going to be the deflect. Adora has to jump back over to the side. Sees how low Among is. It makes it behind the barrier, so the right clicks aren't going to be going through. Not going to be finding any connections, so can't build up further for the Dragon Blade.
They know they have a lot of time, so he's not taking any unnecessary risks here with how he's doing this. They're going to use this Winston disruption.
Oh, pick it down.
No one's on the point,
He's
no!
going to be taken
No
down.
one's
They're
on the
over
point!
the point. Elsa, when he zips his way over, they get halfway there and already have the picks coming through. Gushue built up a primal rage in the meantime. And he is going to be able to find Kyo. He's going to knock Rhea out of that, or Rhea out of the back. Elsa is going to get batted around. He just gets Jinmu. It's just so chaotic. Jumps back over onto the point here. Yevildol going to be taken down. Adora dashing in. Manages to find that kill. Gushue playing around the back of his bubble. Manages to stay alive with a sliver of HP. Takes down Elsa. Bacon Jack rejoins with the Tracer, but does not stand a chance. They will go ahead and take this one up. A minute and 13 to spare. Hangzhou Spark, they move up 2-0.
He's got the blade, but he doesn't need it. Sometimes you forget your win condition. Sometimes you're so focused on a Genji that you forget that the whole point is to stay on the point and prevent that tick from coming through.
Yep.
Very well played here, identifying that from the Spark.
Really solid start for the Hangzhou Spark. Looking alive on the day. The Chengdu Hunters now need a reverse sweep. We'll see if they can pull it off when we come back after halftime.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. It's halftime between the Spark and the Hunters, and you can see Chengdu holding strong for only a moment. It's the Spark coming out on top. They're up 2-0 at the half. Welcome back, everybody. We are live in Dallas, Texas. Can I get a yeehaw? Heck yeah! We're going to keep that party going all day long. We got a lot to talk about here on the desk, but we're going to save our game breakdown for the post show. Why? Because right now on the stage, we got Danny Lim with a special presentation.
Thank you very much, Puckett. What is up, everybody? I am here joined by Nate Nancer, the commissioner of Overwatch League, Ken Hirsch, the co-owner and chairman of Dallas Fuel, and also Mr. Mike Rufail, owner of Dallas Fuel as well. Now, Nate, I heard that you have a special gift for these two gentlemen. What is it?
I do. Thanks, Danny. Just wanted to say, Mike and Ken, on behalf of everyone at the Overwatch League, thank you so much for hosting the first ever home game of the Overwatch League here in Dallas, Texas. I think I speak for everyone here to say You couldn't ask for something more polished, more professional. Just an amazing experience for fans. Been walking around, awesome energy in the building. And we have a special gift here for you guys.
That's awesome.
To commemorate the first ever home game of the Overwatch League. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to the fans here in Dallas.
That's awesome, Nate.
Everybody make some noise for Nate Nancer one more time.
So,
Mike and Ken.
we have I got it. We have a little a gift for you as well. There's a little coincidence. So, on behalf of Team Envy and the Dallas Fuel, we want to welcome you guys to Dallas and celebrate the first ever home match in the Overwatch League. Nate, it has been a true pleasure from our ownership group to work with the Overwatch League. It is truly something remarkable, groundbreaking, pioneering, and all the fans here know that that's what it is, and that's why they're sitting in the seat today. So thank you so much. Thanks, Nate.
Mike and Ken, everybody make some noise. Puckett, that's it for me. Take it away.
Oh man, I want some prizes. Thank you so much, guys. We are back. It's Puckett. I got the crew. We got Zoe Bren, we got Sideshow, and we got 2 more games still to go in this one. It's our 2 Chinese teams, Chengdu Hunters, battling against the Hangzhou Spark. And right now, it's been all Spark. But this match isn't over yet. We got 2 more maps to play. How do you guys see this playing out in the second half?
Statistically, the next 2 maps are coming up even for both these teams. We're looking at, I believe, Blizzard World and Junkertown coming up. Junkertown, not a great map for Chengdu, but it is a good map for Hangzhou. So, I mean, realistically, I think Hangzhou should be running away with this one.
Who predicted Hangzhou?
I mean, yeah, you did predict Hangzhou. Nobody cares, though, John.
You saw it coming, Josh.
I think I did. Spark are definitely on an upward trajectory, and I think they've done a great job of being able to read the style of Chengdu and adapt to it. They were 0-4 on Anubis coming into that map, and they were able to take that one, and they look fairly impressive. So I think continuing in, even though you can see some weird stuff on Blizzard World and Junkertown, they're going to look good.
So I got to ask you, for all the Chengdu Hunter fans out there, who are you looking towards in the second half? If they're going to bring this back and force a Game 5 tiebreaker, who's the guy to lead the team?
See, that's a good question. Usually I would say Eamon is the guy to look for because he is the one who will be breaking up the enemy team to really wreak havoc and allow his team to get those crucial pickups. However, so far the Spark has been doing such a great job at actually shutting him down. So he was not able to provide that kind of bit of chaos that Chengdu really need in their game to take it. But it would still be him. They just have to work with different angles.
All right, well, we're still just halfway through the second match of the day. Dallas, are you guys ready for some more Overwatch? Me too. That is coming up on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We are live from the Dallas homestand.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are halfway through this series at the moment. Hangzhou Spark able to lead with a 2-0 at match point. Chengdu Hunters need to engineer a reverse sweep if they want to come up with a victory here. They were the expected victors of this matchup, so Hangzhou kind of turning things on its head at the moment.
I think there's definitely a feeling of pride as well for the Chengdu Hunters to defeat another
sure.
Chinese team. Even though it is built up of not fully a Chinese roster, you have 2 Chinese players that were the stars of China for the World Cup. So you're, I think, in some ways getting into your own head a little bit. I mean, how did they fail that push with 6 ults, the EMP, the Blade, the Nano? These are the things that we don't have the answers to, but this is where we need to see them come back mentality-wise heading into this third map.
Well, speaking of coming back, Crystal's going to be back in over Adora on the side of the Spark.
And it's so interesting, you know how we were talking about, as we are going to see Yang Xiaolong coming in for Bacon Jack, so a bit of a surprising sub here.
Changing things up a little bit.
But, you know, you and I were talking about this earlier during the break, but it's so interesting to see that they used Adora over Crystal for that dive. We are going into Blizzard World, but you would think that in a dive composition like that, you would want to have 2 Chinese players coordinate that sort of attack. But they used Adora instead, and that gives me a lot of hope for the future of Spark, that even though they were running a Korean Genji, the communication has been figured out. They've worked out their calls, they've worked out their comms, they're not even thinking about that anymore. And that's a good sign for a roster like this. They will put Crystal back in though. We'll start to subtly see, you know, what the difference is going to be throughout this series as to why they would run Crystal often on Brigitte over Adora. I don't think we'll be seeing him on Roadhog, if I had to guess.
Probably not. Well, here we are on Blizzard World. Chengdu going to be starting things off on the defense at the moment. On that high ground here, just after the initial choke. Double sniper defense coming in. So Yang Xiaolong coming through to play the Widow.
Yeah, you want to run him on the Widow and you get to keep Jinmu on projectile. You know, I mean, Hanzo's, you don't think of him as a projectile, but he basically is. So you have this setup where, you know, it's difficult for the enemy team to approach with traditional compositions. Double sniper has always been popular on this map since its release. And right now with the Hog coming out for Crystal, or sorry, for Bebe, it's going to be basically, do you get a kill instantly or not? That's the whole scheme with this.
Well, they're trying to push forward, advance slowly with the barriers. Gushwei going dangerously low.
So
that's to get top back up here by IDK.
Notice how Bebe is trying to break the shield using his right click here. Roadhog does so much damage very quickly against shields, and that's part of the reason why they're running it. Looking for the hook.
Just out of range on that one, almost. That would have been the pop out onto Elsa's mech. Jinmu going to be taking out the Godspeed, but they lose out on Gushwei, and the res is available. So both sides going to be popping those reses, pushing them back in. Dragon Strike out from Jinmu, manages to find Bebe, and Godspeed going to be taken down. Gets himself a double kill, as Crystal will also be eliminated, and this is going to have to be a reset from the Spark.
One of the other ways you can break this as the attacking team with this composition is building your own Dragon Strike, but it's very difficult to build because you don't build ult charge, and most people know this, but you can't build ult charge by shooting at shields. So you have to use the Roadhog to break the shield and then get that arrow damage through, so that's why Crystal is much further behind in terms of ult charge. Is about to be lapped by Jinmu, who's firing with the protection of a shield. But when you do get the Dragon Strike as the attacking team, it's going to be much better because everyone's in one place, and your Dragon Strike is going to destroy the entire bunker setup.
Well, Gushwei instantly on pushing out, just going to get tagged up. See the headshots coming through. Both of these snipers really just wrecking that Orisa. And Hangzhou Spark, they're in such an awkward position right now. You can see the indecision, not sure when or how to approach this. Supercharger slowed down by Among here. So now really have to respect the damage output.
Yeah. They're getting dangerously close, though, to Crystal's Dragon Strike.
Ult him up over the top. Oh, but Yang Xiaolong, he gets pulled down. He's going to be eliminated. Godspeed scoops a double. 2-0 start here. Res will be thrown in. Jinmu going to be put back into the mix of things. Bomb out into the back. Manages to find a pickup onto Godspeed. He didn't have the grapple, trying to pull himself out to safety. The Chengdu Hunters are going to maintain stability here. Dragon Strike coming through. Again from Jinmu. This time not going to be able to find any kills, but Gushwei going so low, it's just going to get taken down, and now Rhea doesn't stand a chance.
Dragon Strike from Jinmu traps everyone. They can't really get out, so they're kind of forced to die here, and it's going to worsen their reset, right, where they're trying to regroup. As you can see, they're kind of trying to slowly get out of here now. The Dragon Strike we saw from Crystal, unfortunately, you thought it was going to be what guaranteed them the final kills there, but Elsa surprisingly tossed out self-destruct, and there was a huge disconnect, and the tool they wanted to take the point with is now gone when they need it most. So, huge turnaround here for the Hunters. That win condition, I mean, I don't think you could build another Dragon Strike in 60 seconds here as the attacking team against all these barriers.
Well, they're going to have to try or rely on Godsby getting some critical picks. You can see every time Gushue tries to push forward.
They want to use his halt to knock everyone down, I think, but easier said than done.
Use the defense matrix to try to escort them forward. Bomb coming out from Rhea up on the high ground, not going to be able to find any picks.
There's a hook.
Wrap around the back, Elsa going to be taken down out of the mech. They kill him off, and Jinmu taken down by Crystal at the same time. So a good start. And Xiaolong trying to drag this one back into their favor as Godspeed does get eliminated, but the rest is going to be there from IDK. The whole hog is just gating people off, so it was looking like maybe a full hold here on Blizzard World. It was turned into a cap for the Hangzhou Spark. Yes. To get ready to finish this with a little bit of time remaining. He sees Amok trying to push back, says, let me help you with that. Get you over here a little bit faster. Dragon Strike rolling through over onto the point. Two Hunters going to be trying to stabilize. We'll see if they can do this. Transcendence coming in, Rhea down to half. Tries to exit around the back. They have to make their way over onto the point. Rhea managed to find Yveltal. They get the tag in here from Bebe. Amok dangerously low. Elsa trying to help keep alive. Rhea finds the kill. Bomb up over the top. Gets a pick on the Bebe. Back in. He's back. The African killing the Gushue. But that will be the cap. They managed to find it. They almost
lost it.
They almost had it.
They almost lost it there in the end. And that was Rhea in pilot form and Crystal on this Hanzo. Now we're going to see composition swapped because this is called a hybrid map for a reason, right? One point is stationary, the other is moving. You need a more mobile comp, and you need, you know, what is the meta for that, the 3-3. I'm surprised to see the Hunters basically set up another bunker here at range with the, you know, Wrecking Ball. It's not a bunker per se, but, you know, you're fighting around tough sightlines to break at range. It's more of a Widow comp than a bunker comp, but I'm surprised to see they're sticking with this. Could cost them big in ult economy.
Well, it's going to be Rhea taken out of the back. And finished off, Amon able to find the hit. IDK just barely avoiding that shot. He'll be safe for the moment, but he is very disconnected. And as I say, Jinwoo's going to be taking him down. So a good start on this extended defense here for the Chengdu Hunters.
If you can hold this choke where the Widow has basically full reign on hitting headshots and cannot be contested, then this is going to work for a long time. And it's the right move when your opponent has a low time bank. The risk is if you lose control and you have to swap, you're never going to be at the same level of ultimate. So they need to hold this now.
Dragon Strike going to be thrown down straight through the choke. Delays him a little bit, but Rhea going to be taken down out of the mech again. Crucially, they continue to punish this D.Va. Shots coming in from above, looking to find a pick off here on a Godspeed. He'll get pushed to the side, and Amon going to be punished for overstepping. Jinmu going lower, has that extra dash, jumps to the side, keeps himself safe for the moment.
Hey, they're losing control of this high ground though. So maybe they're beginning at the end of this double sniper hold.
Cart is advancing slowly but surely. Getting closer, closer to the minefield down from Amon. Right in front of the cart, manages to pick off IDK. Good find here for the Chengdu Hunters, and Jinmu managed to find the other support here as Bebe gets taken down. Perhaps still going to be committed from Godspeed, but the bomb comes through from Elsa. They take down Crystal. The Chengdu Hunters, they look stable. It's Hangzhou Spark that is panicking.
Yeah, very much a panic grab there. I don't know what the idea was behind that one, but
look at the shots from this man, the fadeaways.
Such a great projectile player, and you know, Hangzhou kind of plays that way, even though he's a sniper. Gets the shots there from the storm arrows, and there's just no way through this choke now with the Dragon Strike.
Yep, trying to cut them off. They push around the side. Transcendence has to be used by Bebe just to try to make it back over onto the cart. They'll wrap around the backhand side. Crystal, oh no! He wasn't even looking. And Xiaolong just shoots him in the back of the head, and that is going to be the hold coming through for the Chengdu Hunters.
We were talking about how mentality and the morale of the Hunters might have been low. They needed a defense like this. They needed a dominant win like this, and they absolutely have taken that momentum back into their court.
Well, solid start of the defense for them. Let's see what the Hangzhou Spark can do on their side when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Chengdu Hunters able to find a pretty successful defense, stopping the Spark just in front of point B. So only a single point grabbed. Now we have to see what these guys can get done with their attack.
Yeah, it's all about right now staying composed and understanding that the wind condition has changed. It's not to push the cart further anymore. It's to stop the cart from being pushed at all.
Yep.
To get a full hold is the only real way that the Spark can take this map and then close the series.
Of course, guys, going to be in the LA area. Make sure you get your tickets for All Stars. Coming up pretty quickly, just a couple weeks away now. Make sure you go ahead and lock those down before they get sold out.
Will be Sombra here with the Winston variation coming through for the Spark versus the Hunters. Very strong against Wrecking Ball, because if you hack the Wrecking Ball while he's rolling around, then he will be knocked out of his ball and will not be able to adaptive shield, so that's the easiest way to kill him. But it's not going to be just a Wrecking Ball comp, it is going to be the triple DPS here with Yang Xiaolong on the Tracer. So a lot of potential to threaten those supports, but after
swaps,
after seeing the Sombra and after realizing what sort of comp they're going to swap it up, and he's going to run his signature McCree. This is the hero he's most famous for.
Starting to push his way forward here. Among is waiting behind the statue. Godspeed going to be looking for him to try to get that hack down.
He wants to get the flashbang on the Sombra if the Sombra harasses and then just immediately take him out. That's one of the reasons why you're on McCree, but it's also great at bursting down tanks.
Yeah, you get that fan the hammer. Really start shredding people. Good way. He's in the bubble.
Doesn't last forever.
Now very aggressively is Jinmu. Working his way around the corner. It's going to be flashbang in. Rhea going to be popped out of the back here, but Nemo going to be taken down. So 1 for 1, but Yang Xiaolong, he finds a headshot there onto Crystal. Now they're in onto the point. Tick's getting ready to roll through already.
This is the hero he's most known for in China, and he is absolutely coming out big.
That nano boost is not going to save you, Gushue. He was so close to the primal range, but he cannot get it in time. That is going to be point A taken, a massive timing. 5 minutes, 8 seconds for the Hunters.
And to go very little distance as well. He's got the Deadeye. If he can get on this high ground, there's huge potential. He takes out Godspeed once again. But the Spark Cop was not designed to deal with this much burst. So, you know, they got caught off guard. Rhea was caught on the off the point, stuck by himself, couldn't rejoin the rest of the squad. Gushue doesn't want to come into peel because he knows he's going to get stunned. He knows he's going to get fanned the hammer. And, I mean, the accuracy on this guy is unreal. He's just going to stick to the cart, though. He's not going to take the risky path of going onto the high ground and trying to Deadeye because he knows he might just get hounded down by Rhea.
Godspeed waiting. EMP going to be used, but KO, he times the transcendence so perfectly. He'll deny, just catch a couple members, but no one's going to be taken down. Yveltal will be able to survive. Now Gushue isolated all on his lonesome's got nowhere to go. Gets taken out. Deadeye going to be rolling in, looking for a target. The sleep dart looking pretty good, but still, they have to stabilize to the Hangzhou Spark. Flashbang in, Crystal with the rally rolling, trying to survive, trying to get that armor through. And also keep Rhea in that mech, but it's not going to happen. Sound barrier committed to the fight from the Hunters as they continue to push forward, getting that cart rolling. You can see it doesn't have to go much further.
This is basically it. I mean, they've got the bio grenade to stay alive. They have to contest.
Just going to be rolling forward. Amon going to be taken down. Nano thrown down onto Gushue again as he zaps, tries to build up for another primal range, but he's still so very far away. Gets the leap, manages to stop Yveltal. Good kill coming through for him. And it seems like they will be able to hold him off for a little bit longer, but they're still more than 3.5 minutes in the time bank for the Hunters.
EMP has to be a good one. It has to be good.
There's no support ultimates.
No support ults, exactly. So there is follow-up here for Gushue to come in with everybody else and get those kills. But that's only going to be the first defense. And they need 3.5 minutes of a hold. Deadeye.
Deadeye is used, sound barrier. Buys them a lot of space, looking for a target. Ooh, almost takes out Bebe. Below half. Still getting some tags there onto that Ana.
Gushue's alone here.
Godspeed still holding on to this EMP. They have to be aware of this one. He's going to be jumping forward. Stunned, but still manages to catch 5 people. But Godspeed will be taken down. Elsa finds the kill. The Chengdu Hunters are stable. Sleep dart here for Elsa as they start rolling forward to the checkpoint, looking to get this finish. Just 3 meters left to go. Rhea nearly taken out of the mech. Gushue there with the primal range, just trying to buy them some space. 2:48 still in the time bank. Bombs up over the top. Elsa finds a pick here onto Rhea. Crystal desperately trying to stand here onto the card, but they get sewn back and they nearly push it forward. Another Deadeye comes through. This time it finds IDK. Godspeed will not survive and clean up the kills. And the Chengdu Hunters looking to go ahead and put a win on the board.
They're bringing it back. And it has always historically been that some of the best DPS players in China are great at McCree. This strategy comes out, it catches the Spark off guard here. What a way to take him down.
Well, they're on the board, but they still need a reverse win to try to take the series. We'll see if they can continue that when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Winnable is such an important call because a lot of times in Overwatch it's critical to recognize when a fight is lost.
The most important thing when I hear winnable is like carry on playing, because maybe you think the fight's lost so you kind of give up, but then when you hear winnable, like you try to make more plays, you go in, maybe use ults or whatever.
When it seems like losing or the situation in game get bad, we can just say winnable to make people like high up again, and like, yeah, we can win. We can just do our best and we can win.
Recognizing when a fight is winnable is when kills have gone both ways. You know, the fight is scrappy, but if a player on your team believes that you can commit and win, it's a good idea to go for it because the reward can really pay for it if that call is made at the right time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Chengdu Hunters backs against the wall, looking for a reverse sweep, but they get their first victory on Blizzard World. The very convincing attack and defense.
Yeah, I mean, that was an incredible performance from Yang Xiaolong, and he came in. You know, China has always been known for McCree, and some of the best DPS players from China have been, you know, become legends over there and also in the World Cup, and now, you know, in Overwatch League for the McCree play. And it was just something that caught the Spark off guard. And they haven't played against, you know, protecting McCree comps where it's like so difficult to kill the McCree. He does so much damage. The big question and why sometimes you don't see McCree that often in these sorts of compositions is because a lot of teams are good at diving and killing him. But they protected him well, and he hit the headshots when he needed to. And that's all it takes, especially when you don't have to go very far like that, because if it doesn't work, you have time to change to 3-3 and run the Reinhardt Zarya. Not really the style of the Hunters. I just feel like it's the most Chinese way to win a map and bring the momentum back on your side, and I love that.
Well, talking about, you know, DPS, Chinese DPS, really good chance that we're going to see some crazy stuff here from the Hunters. Spark will see what they're going to be running. They'll be kicking things off on the defense here. At the moment, showing us Crystal on the Genji and Rhea on the Tracer, but something tells me that that may just get swapped out.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Have 30 seconds left to go.
They're actually playing for it. I think they're setting up for this.
Yeah, so there are ways to swap some of your players onto Tracer to run triple DPS dive, which is what the Hangzhou Spark are running. It's actually usually the flex support, Bebe in this case, who would play the Tracer in these styles of compositions, but just may be that Rhea is the better Tracer in these situations. And they're going to try to instantly kill a lot of the members of Hunters as they walk out of the gate, so they can't set up this Bastion composition.
Looking for the halt, trying to get that pull, unable to find it.
See how Elsa is checking right now? Because he does not want anyone to get blown up as they actually try to get onto the cart. But he's also at the same time able to push it.
So far, the only one they've really been able to spot was Godspeed. Takes a little bit of damage. Rhea now making an appearance with the Tracer. The cart contested. Xiaolong taking some shots.
Very clearly, they've seen this before, the Hunters. They are dealing with this well.
Oh man, the clip coming through. Rhea melting through that Widowmaker. Find a nice little pick off here, but won't be too much of a run back, obviously, for Young Xiaolong. And actually, we'll just get Rez back in. The hack comes in onto Jinmu now. Immortal was too busy getting the Rez, couldn't quite keep that Bastion alive, but Rhea will finally get punished.
Hunters are really handling this very well. They didn't immediately run to the cart. They didn't expose the critical parts of their comp. And I mean, even though Crystal gets that kill and he's building a Dragon Blade, there's no way for them to actually stabilize on this defense without him respawning. They've got the EMP. He wanted to just get more of that Dragon Blade. That's why he was, you know, I don't want to say, you know, just coming in and dying. He was actually trying to die while building blades. So that's why we saw that first person view. When the EMP hits, he can build the last part of the blade, get nanoed, and wreak havoc. That's the plan here. There's no transcendence, and they don't see Godspeed. You can hear Elsa checking. You can hear the shots coming through, but he doesn't know where he is.
The EMP instantly thrown down. Now looking for the Bastion, and that pocket healing is not going to be enough. Immortal takes to the skies, but cannot keep that Bastion alive. We are going to be taken out of the map. Crystal's going to be going down, and that's actually going to be a turnaround coming through the EMP we tab. Chengdu Hunters still advancing here. As Rhea, this is going to be nanoed on the cart to Baby Diva, trying to keep it contested, but they finish him off here in a moment you expect as he tries to get back into the match. Usually managed to do so. For sure, expecting that punish that come through, but does manage to make it back in. But Jinmu is still set up here with a Bastion, now popping that configuration tank, taking some pot shots, trying to find some targets. Bebe takes one right to the face, and that will be them gliding into A.
You see Crystal dash up into the base. He's dashing as fast as he can to the spawning room to swap heroes because this is not going to work through this area of the map. You know, I mean, I expected him to swap anyways. He hasn't done it yet. The use of the nano to try to keep Rhea alive, to try to hold the cart.
I mean, it turns out that nano to Baby Diva makes it back in the back very quickly.
So he was trying to do this so that Crystal could come back and Dragon Blade in an even fight. It didn't happen. Now they don't have the nano boost for the blade, so it's less effective. I'm just really shocked that they're not going to swap composition here.
Oh, Dragon Blade going to be drawn out, and oh, he won't even be able to finish the animation. Jinmu just cuts him down in the middle of it. Crystal punished, and now we can probably expect to see the swap off the Genji, but maybe he wants to stick through and try it again.
I just don't think it's the right move in this part of the map. We're still dealing with the same composition for the Hunters because it's continuing to work, and also because they're running Genji still. But it's this part of the map where the Genji doesn't have as much room to roam and find an angle to blade. That's why it was super obvious his angle he was going to come in on, and why he was killed immediately there by the Bastion. He also didn't have deflect, which Jinmu knew. We have an EMP available, but there's nothing to pair with it. You can't nano boost the Sombra. You can't nano boost the Genji that doesn't have blade.
Oh, EMP thrown down. Looking for Jinmu again. The pocket healing does come in. It's going to be Crystal, actually, the one getting taken down. Kill manages to find the hook and kill. Get one. Gushwei trying to disrupt this Rez, but he's not going to be brought back in. He will be able to Goomba stop the enemy Mercy, so he's also going to be punished. So now no healing available for the Hunters, but Heng Xiaolong is still just sniping heads. Looking for another target. Configuration tank rolling through for Jinmu again. Firing up onto that high ground, trying to find somebody with some of this splash damage. Bebe, this time, not going to be taken down, but still trying to save his teammates. Chris is going to be eliminated. IDK will go down, and that's just going to be them gliding into point B.
Let's see if the Hunters swap here. Because if the Hunters keep running what they're running, if they switch to Zarya here, they're going to have a huge ult advantage. Crystal will swap to Brigida.
I mean, they just res Jinmu. I think they're sticking with it.
Looks like it. The cool thing about sticking with this, the smart reason why a team would want to run the Bastion here continuously, is you know that there's not going to be a grab. You know they're not going to have time, even Godspeed swaps here, to build that. And with Crystal on a Genji previously, you're not even sure they're going to swap at all. And you can just maintain ult advantage.
I mean, it's just, it's working so well for them. You might as well keep rolling it with it.
Yeah, and the Spark are not dealing with this well. They're not responding well to this. And it's too late of a swap onto the Brigida. There's still no Zarya here because Godspeed's playing. He's the Zarya player. He's on the Sombra, and he's got 60% of an EMP, so it's a tough decision to swap here.
Jump up onto the high ground here, disrupting Xiaolong. Oh, he goes so very low. Silver of HP manages to survive, and he stands back up. and takes down Baby.
This guy is killing it right now. Yveltal keeps him alive. Quick reaction there on the Mercy.
Looking for a couple more shots. Rhea dangerously low. Grapple up to the top. Chase though by Gushue. Constant pressure right now being applied to this Widowmaker. That's what they need on the side of the Spark to try to swing this back into their favor. He's still going to kill off Crystal at the end of this. Pocket healing coming through. Push to the side. Gets the grapple back up top. This man cannot die.
We get the remake. Oh no, Gushue takes out Elsa before he can.
Okay, he can die if Gushue's got a primal range. He gets the kill there. They finally will be able to stabilize and drain some time away from the Hunters. 2:18 remaining. Swaps coming through. It's going to be the return of the McCree.
Return of the McCree. Very good against the Sombra. Very good against Gushue's style of aggressive Winston plays. And swap to Reinhardt though. It's going to make the McCree a little bit tougher to utilize. And so I don't think this McCree in this situation will find the same level of success as it did on Blizzard World. But I was also somewhat of a doubter on Blizzard World, and I was totally wrong. But he sees that it's going to be the swaps off the Winston, and it's going to be Zarya, so he goes back over to the Zarya. Let's see how well Zarya stacks up against Godspeed.
Charge coming through with an nano thrown in onto Gushue. Takes down Elsa instantly. Fire Strike as well, claiming Among. Hangzhou Spark stable for the moment, still holding on to 2 ultimates. Godspeed tries to build up that grab as rapidly as possible.
This is a situation where Among cannot play the Wrecking Ball either. And, you know, he used to play a lot of Rhine on all the different Chinese teams he was on in contenders, but he's never been as proficient as Gushue has.
Drop down, Among getting juggled around, stunned up, taken down. Rhea finds a kill shot, and that's going to be the retreat call for the Hunters. Again, another minute gone off the time bank. Might just be able to hold them here.
Certainly looks likely. The problem for the Hunters is they're not only ultless here, but they're not able to get into position to build that grab, to build the transcendence they need. The Hangzhou Spark are just, again, taking that ult advantage and maximizing it.
Oh, Elsa, that's a good
Nice
start.
play.
Godspeed going to be losing out onto that Graviton surge, but Among's still going to be taken low.
The shatter is good.
Eliminated. That's going to be a good shatter coming through from Gushue as they charge forward and continue to find the kills. So despite Elsa's best efforts, they still get slaughtered.
It was an incredible play from Elsa because he reacted immediately to where Godspeed was, and that he knew because Yveltal is calling out ults that he had the grab, so he comes up kind of blindly, but hits it at the perfect time. But the high ground advantage for Godspeed was still what gave them those kills and forced the shatter, or you know, empowered the shatter, I should say, made it successful.
Well, you can see the cart not able to go very far. They started this part of the map 4 minutes plus in the time bank. Bomb coming out, looking for a Piglet to buy some space. That's about all it's going to get for them as the Hunters trying to advance. Grab online. Throws that one down. Managed to find several members of the Spark, but can they get the kills? IDK going to be taking down the bomb. Not going to be able to find anything for Rhea. Makes it back into the back, but the kills are there for the Hunters. They finally can start pushing around this corner, but it's still a long way to go if they want to finish this map.
And there's still a grab for Godspeed. He will come out of spawn. They will have an opportunity. The best thing the Hunters could do is to try to somehow isolate him. That's the best thing they're going to have against the grab. They don't have support ults. The, you know, amplification matrix doesn't count as a support ult in this case.
I mean, it's that or Elsa just eats it again. Maybe he can pull it off.
That's the other way.
He's going to have to try. Amp Matrix going to be thrown down straight here onto the cart. Gushue's barrier taking a beating. Tries to play around the corner and keep himself safe. Godspeed waiting for the moment. Not going to be able to find the eat. The shield's still going to be raised here. Can they find the kills? Gushue pushing forward. Not going to get anything with the shatter. Mortality Field thrown in as well, helps keep them alive and in the fight. Right click's coming through, and Mortality Field's gonna get killed off, and that means Among goes down. Solid start for the Hangzhou Spark as they try to regain control. Transcendence gonna be used by Bebe. Watch how long. He's gonna have a grab. He gets it ready. Gushui gonna be taken down. The grab gets thrown in. They keep Zarya alive. The kills come in. He gets a double. The bomb from Elsa finds IDK. Rhea's eliminated, and the card is advancing.
Kyo with a more passive trance. It's later. Gets Hangzhou along that grab, and he grabs second.
It's gonna be Bebe. Bebe's gonna attack, but he's just gonna get melted. They're actually gonna finish it. The Chengdu Hunters, they managed to get the finish on Junkertown, despite the best efforts of the Hangzhou Spark.
What a great turnaround for the Hunters. Turning a match that looked unfinishable, but they're down in this series. They come up, stay strong on the strategy they want to use on this attack, stick with the Bastion until the very end, swap late, and they're one step ahead of the Hangzhou Spark in terms of composition. And that grab there at the end, just making sure he lived long enough, having the second trance, taking those risks, because if you trance second in a lot of these fights, sometimes someone dies before you can heal them, and then none of this can happen. But Kyo makes the play at the right moment. They're not out of this yet. It is an overtime finish, and certainly the Spark can come in with a time bank and end up having, you know, a better chance to, in overtime, close this series out. But it does feel like in terms of the first part of the map, we have advantage Hunters. This is the open space. This is where the Widow comes into play. This is where Yang Xiaolong can utilize his strengths as a hit scan player. And there is, you know, a real fear, I think, for the Spark fans and for those watching at home that there's a full hold here, because this is where they do best, is this section right here. And they'll have advantage in terms of sight lines as the defenders. They'll have high ground. And the Spark are going to be pushed away from the 3-2. They're going to be pushed out of their comfort zone. This is where Gushue will have to play the wrecking ball for the first time in this series, potentially. And I think the Hunters are going to be massively at an advantage state based on their background and their play style. We could be going to a game 5 here.
It's starting to really feel that way. Just need one successful hold. They're punching that ticket. That 5th and final map to decide it all. Still pushing up over the top. Is that Venom Mine? Trying to find an angle here. Lobbing in the arrows. So far not finding too many connections though.
Very patient play from the Hunters too. Not overextending, just maintaining the sightline advantage.
Oh. Xiaolong getting jumped on here. Trying to survive. Seems like the pocket comes through in time to keep him sustained.
He's got a flank to get those headshots, but the barrier's down now. He's got a shot.
Yeah, Bebe's just playing on those flank angles, trying to get the hooks in. Jinmu going to be taken down, speaking of that. So manages to find 1 kill already. A solid start for the Spark here. Trying to keep things moving. The Hulk coming in, snatches up too. Just slamming these arrows in as best as he can. That's going to be a nice shot. Elsa taken down, gets rid of that Baby Diva, denies any chance of a remake. And now they have so much space to work with. Kyo able to bring one back into their favor, but Hulk can be taken down. The rest onto Godspeed. And this defense here for the Hunters, this ain't it.
Yeah, this isn't what, you know, we described. This is not the advantage that, you know, we were just talking about.
Oh, okay.
That was a shot.
All right.
But, you know, they traded better with the Hangzhou than the Hunters were able to do with the Junkrat. The Junkrat didn't get the same amount of value. If we're talking about how these comps are different, that's the crux, right? It's the Junkrat versus the Hangzhou. 2 projectile players play different heroes, and Crystal just ends up getting more value, does more damage, gets those additional kills. And now we're no longer in that area where you think that Yang Xiaolong has control.
Well, Godspeed pops the infrasight, finds the pick off on the Jinmu. Res will be there, but Godspeed now gets Yang Xiaolong. Says, okay, I'll just take both DPS. Headshot coming in, pop up here on the high ground. Amok disappears. Godspeed coming online. Rip tires out from Jinmu. Looking for a target. He snipe it out of the air. Not this time. Crystal and Rhea both going to be taken down. Hunters now finding some ground to stand on. Crystal's going to be res back in.
Okay, Godspeed still has the high ground here too. It's really tough for the Hunters to find a way to take him down. Yang Xiaolong gets him though.
Next to find Godspeed. Kyo now going to be on the exchange. Gushue able to come up with that. Shots coming in. Bebe trying to find the pick. Manages to get rid of Jinmu.
Chaos
comes through. Pulls in. Amok in slow motion, it would seem. Manages to find him. So they can't kill him all. Dragon Strike through on the side. Find some space over onto the cart, but the Hunters have already pushed back around the corner to get set up.
This is nuts, actually. They're both trading so evenly, but I think the Spark are just eventually going to win out. They're trading up ever so slightly each time.
It's so messy. Back and forth coming through with those last 2 kills. Elsa and Yang Xiaolong getting taken down. It seems like the Spark should be able to glide this one in. They have a very significant time bank to try to get to the end here of Junkertown.
Yeah. There's better sightlines for Godspeed versus what we were seeing from Yang Xiaolong. Obviously, Widow versus Hangzhou. You have the advantage as the Widow if you have those sightlines. He had high ground for a majority of the time. When he was eventually picked off and killed, the Spark were able to stabilize with good plays from Bebe and IDK as Rez is coming through. And Godspeed just did the most damage there.
Dragon Strike through the wall. Trying to find some picks, but there's like, oh, all right, well, that's fine.
It's hard to get value out of that ultimate, as everyone's so good at dealing with it. It's been around since the game was released. So we do see swaps coming through for the Hunters. Jinmu onto the Genji. Looks like they want to try to use that dive strategy to defend, but I think we'll probably see swaps once again. Yeah, once they see that Spark will also be swapping, so you don't want to play disadvantageous heroes into the 3-3.
Yep. Changing it up. 4 minutes, 10 seconds remaining for the Spark. Plethora of time. They try to inch this card forward. Among pushing up. Barrier taking a lot of damage. He himself is taking a lot of damage. Dark Bubble comes in as he tries to kite his way back and stay alive, but they have this damage there. Rhea pushing forward the Rockets, managed to take him down. They've broken the front line. They buy a lot of space for this card to advance.
Yeah. Right now, the Hunters need to get ult charge, but they're not able to approach. You know, Elsa was playing forward, but he almost got DMAX. Everyone had to back off, and the card is just moving for free. And the thing is, the Sparks don't even have ults. They need to be playing more aggressively. They need to be contesting this. Here they come. One more shot at this to build that ult. The grab that Hangzhou needs.
Bomb's going to be starting things off. They get the pinion on Aria's back. They manage to take him down. That's going to be IDK. It's just going to be a slaughter in favor of the Hunters. They finally go aggro. They get the kills. A solid start.
The bomb cut the team in half. Bebe was out in the open, so he couldn't actually escape there. And you could see, you know, Godsby is stuck in this position. He has to bubble himself, and he can't get into peel for the rest of his squad during that bomb. And it becomes a 6v3 fight in that choke point. Very good play from Elsa, who's had a lot of good bombs today, a lot of good positioning on the Diva. And now they have high ground for the first time in a long time. They have the answer to Godsby's ensuing grab that we're about to see in just a moment.
Rally out from Jinmu. Crystal gets his online. Shatter going to be coming down. Godsby knocked to the ground, but still safe behind these shields. They try to play through this underpass. Grab comes in, hits him straight in onto the shield. Bomb into the back. Rhea managed to find one. Jinmu going to be taken down. Sound barrier out for the rest of the members on the side of the Hunters. They try to survive for a bit longer. Graviton Surge comes in. Shui trying to stay alive. Transcendence is there from Bebe. Safe for the moment. Elsa getting juggled around just a little bit, but the King might kill him off. Shatter comes out. Not going to find too many members. Bomb up over the top. Not going to get any picks, though.
Only the shield, that's all they get.
Hunters, they have to attack the card. Otherwise, it's just going to glide right in. Among rejoins, the Wrecking Ball coming through. Veltal going to be taken down. Suddenly, the card just glides in. No one able to tag it. Among way too far in the back. Young Xiaolong knowing that if he stepped forward, he would have been eliminated.
Yeah, just better usage of ults there. More conservative play again from the Spark. Gets them the time make advantage.
Well, 3:08 to 1 minute. Let's see what happens in OT. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, 3 minutes, 8 seconds left in the time bank here for the Hangzhou Spark. Chengdu Hunters going to be bumped up to a minute. So not much time to work with here as they get ready to go on the attack.
Yeah, it's going to have to be another dominant performance for them on A, as we saw in their first attack. And the real pressure here is on Yang Xiaolong to perform on the Widow once again. The Spark, knowing that they have the better time bank, just want to play around winning one big fight before A with the ult advantage. So that's why they're running the 3-3. Very difficult to get real value out of the Widow against this. Let's see if they stick with it.
Already a nice shot there onto Rhea as he's going to get chunked out. That's going to be the mech destroyed already. Also able to hound him down. Now Guxue. The front line completely shattered. Two Hunters, they open this push up.
That's the cool thing about the, you know, the Bastion here. It helps you break through the shields, it helps you break through the defenses, and then the Widow can help finish everybody else
IDK,
off.
look at what time he's buying. They haven't been able to finish him off. Now the card will just start advancing with 20 seconds remaining.
That's the kind of plays you want when you're playing towards ult advantage, playing towards slowing this down. You're playing around the short time bank. It makes sense to delay in that case with the Lucio. He'll be back in time easily for the next fight as a Lucio player with the speed boost. We'll see if Yang Xiaolong can find a flanking angle here. He's looking for that shot. One kill is so massive he can get it, but he's just not able to find any of the supports.
He's up over onto the high ground. Crystal with the shield raised, keeping himself safe. The Hulk's coming in, trying to set up for some of these plays.
Just no angle.
Taking him low though. Godsby under severe fire, has to play back. The cart will be halted right here. Rhea nearly taken out. They managed to get the back in the end. It was just set up in the back, spraying away like a madman. Doesn't even have a target, can't really see anything. As long as he is getting hit indicators and then he is doing his job. The configuration takes ready.
The thing about this too, Achilles, is even though they don't get kills with the Widow, even though those shots don't connect. It's the threat and the fear of the shots that puts them at positional disadvantage. The shields are looking the wrong way. The Bastion is doing the damage. They're walking up to A here with ult advantage. There's still no grab for Godsby. He's unable to get into position with Jinmu's, there's a threat of the Bastion on one side, threat of a Widow on the other. Now they've got configuration tank to push this even further. This has been a very successful attack for the Hunters.
They roll into A. No more time, though.
They need more than this, though. With 3 minutes on the clock for the Spark, this needs to go basically nearly to B. And the Spark know that A is something they could take. They're just playing around these ults. They just want one team fight win to shut this down.
Gushwei nearly getting pulled off that high ground. Defense matrix around the back from Rhea. Trying to help keep them safe. The pin's gonna be good. Gushwei! Oh, he just drops in and dunks him! All the destructibles getting taken down. The supercharger gone, as is the immortality field. Rhea with a bomb, finds Yveltal, and that's gonna be Jinmu cleaned up. OT plummets. They managed to make it past A, but man, what an explosive finish there for the Spark on that defense.
I don't think they pushed it far enough. They were on the cusp, they were on the verge of getting it around that corner before the ults were ready. And the ults weren't ready. It was the charge from Gushwei that pinned Jinmu out of position. Once you lose the backbone of this composition, it doesn't have enough damage. You can't res in that position as Yveltal because there's too much pressure. The second the Bastion is down, everybody collapses in. Godsby's doing too much damage. He's finishing off his grab. They are getting the ultimates they need to finish the push. You can see Jinmu at the end when the res finally came through. He's the last man standing with a configuration tank ultimate that he can't use. And that's the end of it. This needed to go further, because the Spark now have all the chances in the world to try different strategies, different compositions. If they get even 2 major team fight wins as the attacking team, this card is going to roll through and close out the series. Hunters are going to have to give this defense their best shot, but they know that it's going to have to be one crazy defense here.
I mean, you think back to how the defense went for them with the same exact setup. Just at the beginning of the map, it did not go well. Yep. They did not stop the card basically at all. Spark just rolled through, built up that massive time bank that they're now looking to utilize here at the end. 3 minutes and 8 seconds, a very long time to try to get this full hold, but it's Junkertown, so it is always possible.
What if they do it,
Then we're going to game 5, Bull.
Going to game 5. I mean, that would be pretty incredible, right? Let's see if they can. As Jinmu's trying to stay in position to get a lot of value out of this Junkrat, build a Riptire. That's one way you can. Just basically reset a push.
Just look how far back they have to play.
Yeah.
So a lot of space going to be surrendered. Finding them here in this choke is going to be where they're looking to find success. Godsby popping up over the top. Ooh, will get tagged up.
They've got to make sure that Jinmu gets more value than the last time versus the Hangzhou, right?
That's a how long.
Uh-oh.
Yveltal hooked up. And that's going to be him taking down Rhea. That's just the Hound in for that first. He said, no chance of bringing that Widow back into the mix. Now no healing. The hook's going to be good. Keo taken down by Bebe.
Bebe is just
clean up Elsa.
him up.
Hunters, they just have to die right now, get the reset, and come back and try to fight them right after the
Bebe says no. There's the hold. He's got one more hook here. He could get it.
Gonna be looking for him.
Right
coming. He finds Among. He takes him down.
That is huge. That is almost it. That's almost game winning right there. He and Gushwei together just said, you are not going to reset. You are not going back to spawn. You're stuck with me.
That's A. That's how far they have to go. And Young Xiao Long going to be taken down. They finally managed to punish him. They're going to be eliminated. Jinmu comes up with a kill. But the cart, it just has to inch forward. 1:45. The Hunters, can they do this? Res coming through, pushes it in, and Gushwei immediately going to be taken down. And Bebe didn't live very long after that res.
Yeah, the Riptire is always the great equalizer. You could stop almost any push with the Riptire, in a meta like this with these types of compositions. So that was the free win, right? That was the get out of jail free card. But now they have to hold without ult advantage, without a Riptire against a Dragon Strike, against the Valkyrie. There's so many tools.
The whole hog. It just pushed him away from the cart and glided in, perhaps.
Here comes
Dragon Strike going to be coming in from the flank, but it gets him off guard. I think a lot of damage there from Among. Walls coming up for Young Xiao Long. Masked by Godsby. Supercharger is in. Elsa going to get popped down. The whole hog manages to demech him. Maybe taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Can't take a breather, but will be able to stay safe. Works his way around the back of the cart. Look how close it is. 1.25 meters. Bomb out, not going to find anything, but Rhea makes it back into the back. The Supercharger's going to be thrown down.
Among's still alive somehow.
Crystal, but Jinmu and Yveltal both going to be taken down, and Crystal gets res. The barrier going to be broken. The tank's going to be shattered. Elsa tries to stay alive, but he will get punished. And the Hangzhou Spark, will deny them the reverse sweep. They will take this a 3-1 in the end as they close out Junkertown.
What a series that was. We saw a little bit of everything. We got to go back in time. We got to experience the Genji dive. We got to experience Orisa Junkrat. Among on the wrecking ball versus Gushui's Ryan and Winston. We got, I mean, basically anything you could ask for in that series in terms of composition and strategy. The Spark have been for so long emulating the top teams right now in 3-3. They were tested against a different style and a different strategy. And although there were hardships throughout this 4-map series, they come up winners in the end. You can see these guys are close, especially the Chinese players on both of these squads. But it's Spark who wins today and goes up to a 3-2 record. It's not the map differential they were looking for. They wanted the 4-0, but they're one small step closer to potential playoffs this stage.
Working on it. It's a work in progress. This was a big step forward for the Spark, at least in their performances. Very scrappy between both these teams, but that's what happens when you play against the Hunters. They kind of drag you into that play style, but the Spark were able to come out on top today. So a very well-deserved victory. We don't get the game 5, but it was still pretty damn exciting all the way through.
Certainly was. What a fun series that was to cast here in Texas. And
but guys,
yeah,
not to cut you off, but we got Emily standing by on stage with Gushui. So let's go ahead and hear from the man himself.
Thank you guys so much. What an amazing crowd. Can I get some more love for Gushui and the Hangzhou Spark? So, Gushui, that was an amazing, amazing match. How did you guys prepare for a team that runs such wild compositions? 你们今天表现得相当棒了，那么你们怎么准备得这么充分呢？
我们准备了1周的时间，每天都是研究成都会选怎么中，怎么针对他们。
We just put a lot of hard work into practice, and every single day we've been trying to figure out ways to combat against Chengdu. Now, you guys have won 3 matches now. What is your mindset to clinch that spot for the playoffs? 你们进决赛、总决赛的这个心态怎么样？有自信吗？
有啊，我觉得我们现在会开始连胜下去的。
I am very confident about playoffs, and I think we're going to win every match for the rest of this stage. 好，谢谢Gushui. Thank you so much. Back to you guys, Wolf and Achilleos.
Thank you very much, Emily. Good to hear from Gushui. And we'll have to take a look at the standings and see what that did for the Spark. You can see they have surged forward up into the top 8, now resting in 7th place just above the Fusion.
But we do have to talk about that map differential blemish. You
Yes.
know, that's why they were looking for the 4-0. The wins don't mean as much when everyone starts tying, you know, at the 4-2s. If you're down in the negatives against the other teams that are up and have had better, more consistent results, then you're going to pay for it. You might not make that top 8. They're on their way, but we'll see if they can make it in the end.
Well, let's see who our player of the match, presented by Omen by HP, is here for the side of the Spark, and it's going to be Godsby, who did play one hell of a Zarya.
He certainly did, and a lot of the big fights and you know, deciding moments were based on his teammates setting up for his big grabs, and a lot of this comes down to the support play. You know, there's a real argument for IDK, who had an incredible performance on the Lucio and some of the sound barriers that kept him alive for grabs. There's also, you know, real arguments for Bebe there on the Roadhog at the end. This whole team played together so well today. We got to see Adora's Genji. We got to see the increased synergy amongst Crystal and the rest of the squad. But I think it's Godsby who held them all together. He was the player of the match. He was the player who, you know, made the big plays and made the more consistent team fights go his way.
Well, man, what a fun series. We got plenty more Overwatch action coming your way, guys. So you guys in the stadium here, make sure you stay tuned. You guys watching back home, because we've got the Outlaws going up against the Dynasty. So you don't want to miss it.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, man, what's up?
You need anything for today?
Nah, man, I think I'm set. Big day today, man? Yeah, huge. Let's play some Overwatch.